Picture this: 1980s, PCs are emerging, but the familiar blue screen is nowhere to be seen. No windows, no standardized interface. 1,000 different paths diverge. And let's find the answer to the question, what if? Without Windows, the operating system landscape would have exploded with diversity. Apple's macOS and other contenders like Commodore would have flourished, potentially fostering a more open-source friendly environment. Instead of a standardized experience, we might have seen a slower, more organic evolution of operating systems, each with unique strengths and weaknesses, leading to a fragmented but possibly more experimental approach to user interfaces and experiences. Imagine a world with multiple dominant operating systems, each catering to specific needs, a vibrant ecosystem of specialized solutions rather than the near monopoly we know today. This lack of a single standard could have spurred innovation in unique ways, pushing developers to create more adaptable and interoperable software. Without Windows, software development would have followed a drastically different trajectory. Instead of a dominant suite of applications, we might have seen a multitude of competing software packages, each optimized for different operating systems. This competitive landscape could have fostered greater interoperability between programs, forcing developers to prioritize compatibility across platforms. However, the lack of a universal standard would have likely resulted in slower development cycles for standardized applications like word processors and spreadsheets, with fragmented versions existing across different operating systems. Furthermore, the need to cater to diverse system functionalities would have placed a greater emphasis on hardware-specific software and programming languages, increasing complexity for both developers and users. Without Windows, the PC hardware market would have been a vibrant battleground of diverse designs. Manufacturers wouldn't have been able to rely on a single OS's specifications, forcing them to create hardware compatible with a multitude of operating systems. This would have spurred innovation, potentially leading to more specialized hardware tailored to specific OS needs and user preferences. Imagine PCs with radically different form factors, optimized for the unique strengths of various operating systems. The slower, more organic adoption of personal computing would have likely been fueled by specialized applications rather than a push for universal compatibility. The absence of a universal standard might have resulted in a slower initial growth, but possibly led to greater long-term hardware diversity and experimentation, fostering a richer ecosystem of specialized devices catering to individual needs. The internet's evolution without Windows would likely have been slower and more fragmented. The lack of a universal computing interface would have necessitated the development of web applications compatible with a multitude of operating systems, hindering the rapid standardization we witnessed in the real world. This could have led to innovative OS-specific browsing methods and user interfaces, resulting in a less homogenized, possibly more diverse online experience. Imagine navigating the web through unique OS-tailored interfaces, each with its own approach to hyperlinking, visual presentation, and interaction. A far cry from the standardized web experience we know today. The resulting internet might be less interconnected, but potentially richer in terms of varied user experiences and approaches to information access. A world without Windows would likely exhibit varying levels of digital literacy across populations. The ease of use, or lack thereof, of the dominant alternative operating systems would directly impact this. Furthermore, the absence of Windows would have significantly altered the trajectory of the modern digital economy. The rise of numerous, possibly specialized operating systems might have resulted in a slower, more decentralized economic expansion tied to tech, with power potentially distributed more evenly among smaller companies and niche markets. Finally, our cultural relationship with technology would be profoundly different. Instead of a standardized experience shaped by one dominant OS, computing would be intrinsically linked to a diverse ecosystem of platforms and user interfaces, leading to a richer tapestry of technological experiences, but perhaps also to greater fragmentation and complexity. A Windows-less world would feature a more diverse, potentially more innovative, but fragmented tech landscape. In your opinion, what if Microsoft never created the Windows operating system? Share your thoughts in the comments.